Life as You Own It with Mark McDougall and Craig Miller.
Remember, you got questions, we've got answers. You may not take the time to educate yourself about the single largest investment and opportunity you have, that investment in the roof over your head in real estate.
We talk about your home, financing, making investments in real estate. We give you the facts, folks.
You know, it's just good old-fashioned horse sense that we like to talk about. And we also throw in some other horse stuff, too, just for fun.
Life as You Own It with Mark McDougall and Craig Miller.
Remember, you got questions, we've got answers. You may not take the time to educate yourself about the single largest investment and opportunity you have, that investment in the roof over your head in real estate.
We talk about your home, financing, making investments in real estate. We give you the facts, folks.
You know, it's just good old-fashioned horse sense that we like to talk about. And we also throw in some other horse stuff, too, just for fun.
All right. Life as You Own It. I'm Mark McDougall, and he is
Craig Miller.
Hey, Craig, have you ever put the headphones on where you put
Backwards?
Oh, nope, I had it
Upside
right.
down?
Yeah, backwards.
Upside
I know you like to wear your... Folks, if you can watch the show, you can podcast the show, you can see the shenanigans we're up to. Craig is giving you a big smile now, but we are Life as You Own It, and I thought I had the headphones on backwards, which would mean that I had them over my eyes instead of my ears, right?
But they
I guess they're on correct. I just feel a little off today. So if
I like to wear my back a little bit.
Yeah.
Tilt them back.
If you're checking us out for the first time, welcome. We are your show, your one-stop shop for everything that falls under your financial roof. Whether it's getting the best deal on that mortgage, whether it's deciding what remodel project you're going to undertake, or getting improving your credit score, being a smarter consumer when it comes to insurance. So many things under the roof over your financial head, something like that. We are the roof over your financial head.
That's right.
We are the head over your financial roof. We're
We
the
got
head
you
of your
covered.
financial roof.
We got
That's
you
right.
covered.
We got you covered.
That's what we got.
So we come at you each and every weekend on a growing list of affiliates, and we want to give a shout out to our friends at KMBZ 980, KMBZ in Kansas City. That is actually home base for Craig and I. That's where this show broadcasts from, right at the Intergalactic headquarters in Overland Park, Kansas. A big hello to our friends here. And we want to make sure that we acknowledge our friends all the way from Alabama to Arizona to Ohio, a growing list of affiliates, and we are proud to come at you each and every weekend. And we want you to reach out to us with your questions. You can give us a call at 800-492-4664. That's a number you can reach us on. Or you can email us questions at lifeasyouownit. That's questions at lifeasyouownit. Remember to check us out on YouTube. Just type in there, Life as You Own It. You'll get, we've got some of our short, we'll do tips, so make it a little shorter, just so you watch the whole show. You can podcast it, take it on the road. iTunes, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn are all venues that carry Life as You Own It now. So thanks for checking us out. It's going to be a big show today, Craig. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Ready
All right.
to get this info into the brains
Ready
of
to
our
get
listeners.
it going. Well, I am eating. I'm eating a pot pie. Don't mind, listeners, if you hear
Pot
some.
pie.
I'm eating a little
Beef pot pie.
Marie Collander's beef pot pie while we're doing the show, because I like to multitask, just like my friend Craig.
I love to multitask. If I'm not doing 2 or 3 things at once, I'm sleeping.
That's right.
that's
And
the way
even
I
when
roll.
when you're sleeping, you're doing 2 or 3 things at once too.
I guess so.
You're
I'm
grinding your
respirating,
teeth. You're
respirating,
breathing
my
and you're
heart's
snoring
going,
and
snoring.
Yep. All right, so we're halfway through 2014.
Yeah.
We're halfway through 2014.
Yeah,
Did you
we
know
are.
that?
We are halfway through.
Pretty close.
2014.
It's almost
Pretty
we're
close.
almost to the end of June. And are you on target to hit your financial goals? Better yet, did you set any? We're going to dedicate today's show to giving you the tools you need to get your financial house in order. So when you look back come year end, we're all going to be proud of what you accomplished. But remember, it's the small steps we take that get us to our goals. This isn't about hitting home runs. It's about hitting singles. It's why we come at you each and every weekend. We're going to help you hit some singles. I don't have a home run stock tip. I don't have a home run single tip that we're going to be able to give you that is going to change the entirety of your financial life. But we've got a lot of great information that if you listen to it, if you take action on it, then you will be better off than you were yesterday. So, Craig, how you doing?
Mark.
You doing well?
Doing well. Ready to share some of the. Oh, what's that?
Look at the music so soon in the show. I was just going to take a bite of my pot pie. Guess not right now.
So every week we've got this segment for you folks. If you're a first-time listener, should you stay or should you go? We have our listeners all around the country sending us an email or giving us a phone call with their scenario question. We give you the answer. Should you stay or put where you're at? Should you go? This can involve whether you should buy instead of rent, refinance that mortgage, take one loan type over another, and all sorts of other advice.
Email us questions at lifeasyouownit.com. We may give your we may give you some airtime here with your own should you stay or should you go scenario. Bill in Leavenworth, Kansas emailed the following. I have a $132,000 balance at 5%. My home is worth about $180,000. I would say that I will be in my home for another 10 years, but who knows for sure. Should I refinance on a 15-year loan or a 20-year loan? I have 22 years left right now. Stay or go, Craig?
Go. He should refi.
Go. All right, Bill.
He should refi.
Gone. Refi.
As far as, to elaborate for Bill's sake, should you do a 15 or should you do a 20? That's a question that you need to develop with your certified mortgage planner that you're working with, preferably a certified mortgage planner. Make sure you've got that trusted advisor looking at your overall financial picture. It may make most sense to do another 30-year loan. It may make more sense to do a 15-year loan, a 20-year loan, something along those lines. But you need to look at your current cash flow situation, how your retirement's being funded. There's lots of other factors other than just what's my payment on the mortgage and can I swing it. There may be a better way to strategize as you take advantage of a lower rate. But watch those fees and costs, watch the fees, and watch those fees.
Watch those fees. They'll get you every time.
They'll get you.
They'll get you. All right, so, Craig, speaking of fees, why don't you want to jump into interest rates?
Let's talk
Or you know
about
what, let me tell you what else we're going to cover on the show today. That'd
Why
be a
not?
good little thing.
They might wanna
All
know.
right, are you a small business owner, or would you like to be one day soon?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to pick on some of you and share what it is you aren't doing, those small businesses. We're going to tell you what you're not doing that all of us should be doing. And in fact, we're going to help you map out your future financial success. And it's a map that all of us can follow, whether we're a small business owner or not. Also, we've got, don't put the car before the house. Or in the old day, when you were a younger fella, it was always don't put the cart before the horse, right, Craig?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some of you that may be considering a new car, but you may or may not have considered what it's costing to put the roof over your head. And we want to just make sure you're on the right page there. And how safe is your city? We've got the 10 of the 100 largest metropolitan areas. We've got the 10 safest cities, and we might even talk about the 10 roughest neighborhoods that hopefully you do not live in right now. And Craig, one other item. Oh, we're going to talk about in our goal today to help you actually achieve some of your financial goals. We're going to talk about your retirement plan and what things you need to do to get it on track. And these are general things. We're not going to give you specific investment tips. We're going to talk about what you need to be doing and also share the average retirement savings by age that people have now and what their opportunity could be. So, a lot in the show today, and we encourage you, reach out to us. If you've got something you want us to cover, please give us a holla, and we'll give you a holla back, go.
That's right.
All right?
We will.
So, Craig, interest rates, where are they? Where are they going?
Here's where they're going, folks. Well, what we've seen over the past week is rates have risen slightly. We thought we were starting off the week with a little recovery mode from the previous week, but instead we kind of leveled off, and then rates kind of worsened at the very tail end of the week. So what we do every week, folks, is we share with you this national average on what rates are doing based on a $200,000 loan amount, 20% or more equity, and excellent credit. Obviously, your terms could vary from those particular specs, but in general, this should give you a good guideline. Now, there's fees, there's costs that can affect the rate. You may be paying a lower rate, but you're paying a lot more fees. Maybe you're paying a slightly higher rate, but you're not paying any fees, which oftentimes is the better deal. It's not all about rate alone. What we suggest you do every week is simple. Go to lifeasyouownit.com, check out the break-even formula, do the math for yourself, and decide which loan scenario is best. I will give you a word of warning to those of you who are paying close attention. If you call a mortgage lender, you're referred to a mortgage lender, etc., a mortgage lender calls you, and they've got one loan option they're pitching, one way they're telling you should go. They haven't talked to you about what the other options could potentially be. They haven't asked you a lot of questions about your long-term and short-term financial goals. They haven't spent much time interviewing you, so to speak, the way a financial advisor would to make sure they're giving you sound advice. You're probably talking to the wrong lender. If they're not offering a lower cost or zero cost option versus one with higher costs or modest costs, that's a problem. If they're not asking you how long you're going to be in the home, how any questions about your retirement, kids' college, how many kids you even have, and what your long and short-term general financial goals are, employment opportunity going forward, all those kind of things. I mean, there's just a lot of information they should be covering. If they're not covering this stuff, you've got the wrong guy on the phone or gal. Okay, 30-year fixed rate, folks, 4.31 average versus 4.22 the prior week. 15-year fixed, 3.38 versus 3.26. So again, both 30 and 15 gone up slightly. 5/1 ARMs moved the most, 3.63 versus 3.41. Your adjustable rate mortgages are creeping up, folks. FHA 30-year fixed, 3.94 versus 3.86. So across the board, we're seeing rates slightly rise. We'll see what happens next week, but for now, we're telling you to lock in if it makes sense. Life as you own it, back in a few. Break. Those rates creeped up a little bit on you. A lot of people are sitting there scratching their heads going, oh man, I was hoping they were going to get a little better before I did anything. I didn't do anything. Now they're a little higher. Listen, do that math. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure you've been advised well. And when it makes sense and it's a sound financial decision, take action. We have a volatile market right now. The stock market has some great runs, and then it'll have a sell-off day. There's days where the bond market's feeling the love that the stocks aren't getting, and then other days they're both down. I mean, it's hard to track, folks. We have no crystal balls. Anyone that tells you they know where rates are going doesn't. So, as I said before the break, if it makes sense, take action, get locked in. If you're on a contract to purchase in the next 30 to 60 days, I'd be locking that rate. All right. So,
All right, let's talk some financial, little bit of financial planning here, folks. Just if a lot of our listeners might be small business owners. Maybe you've got a part-time business. You're working extra on the side, make a little extra money till one day you can transition over. But there was some startling data that I read in Success Magazine just a couple days ago, and we're going to jump right into it. And the tips we've got for those of you that are business owners, really, these apply to all of us. But 66% of small business owners have never consulted with a financial advisor. Now, I'm going to say that all of us should be consulting with a financial advisor. Now, many of you may choose to go your own way, maybe do it yourself. Others of you just are living under the rock, and then there's some of you that reach out to professionals to get advice. You can work on a strategic plan. But I'm telling you, folks, if you own your own business and you haven't consulted a financial advisor, then your chance of success is probably going to be crippled, at the least, to say the least. About 30% have not estimated how much money they'll need for a comfortable retirement. Only about 25% have a formal financial plan, an understanding of where their income will come from, i.e. Social Security, savings, pension, etc. for retirement. And only 15% have a written plan to transition their business when they retire. These are startling numbers, folks. And if you're a business owner and you fall in this category, please take action regardless of the size of your business. Get your affairs in order, because you probably you don't have as much fallback as someone that is employed. If you've been your own boss for a number of years, and you run that company, or you choose not to run it in a fashion that enables you to continue, then it might be a little tough for you to find gainful employment that can replace that income. So number one, what are some of the considerations you as business owners, and us as those of you that aren't business owners, need to consider? Well, number one is, it's the roof over your head. Whether you are a sophisticated consumer, and whether it's you're renting or owning your home, as we understand, investment in real estate can be a great investment. But if you want to ensure that you are mapping out your financial future, make sure as you start that business or as you continue that business, understand what the value and the real cost of home ownership is. You looking at it like a business is a part of your business. There's real equity that you may achieve through responsible home ownership. But as a business owner, know that if you're working out of your home, you've got opportunities to save. There's some tax efficiencies there. But also know that if you are going to count on your business to fund your living, which includes your home, you've got to ensure that it is not, that one does not impede your ability to afford the other. You've got less margin for error as a self-employed person, because you may not have those deep well of reserves, and tapping into that home equity at a time when you need it can be challenging if you've not laid out the groundwork in advance.
That's right.
Oh,
there it is again,
got another
folks.
should you stay or should you go?
Big Ben.
All right, folks.
Parliament.
Ava in Atlanta, Georgia called with the following question. I have a low credit score. I am told it was 583. I have a loan right now that was an adjustable rate. and the rate is at 9.5%. Terrible. That's what she said, not me. I'll agree with her. I know I need to refinance, but I only owe about $92,000, and the one lender I found that will work with my scores wants to charge me about $3,500 to do the loan. That seems high. I don't have plans to move anytime soon. Should I refinance or not? Whew. A lot of info there, Craig. What should she do?
She needs to go. She needs to refinance for sure. She's at an extremely high rate. However, those are extremely high fees considering the loan size. There are lenders out there who will work with a 580 or higher credit score. They are few and far between. It is hard to get approved for those programs. Expect it to be a little bit of a hoop jumping process. And in fact, it may not ultimately work out. You've got to strap yourself in for this one. However, if you found one lender that would do it, there's potentially another. I would put them in a competitive situation against one another. And Ava, if you can get one guy to do it at X rate for $3,500 in fees, and somebody else may do it at that rate for $2,800 worth or $25 or whatever. But the costs are going to be high, but you're going to save a ton of interest depending on what rate you're getting. You didn't say there. I'm assuming you're getting a rate under 5%. You're cutting your rate almost in half. There'd be no reason why you wouldn't ultimately save money if you don't move.
I'm going to say stay,
And not refinance.
not refi. You know what you need to do first?
What's
You
that?
said, yeah, I got to qualify. You need to stay until you get that credit cleaned up. Because a
Well,
583,
yeah.
you're right. A 640 is going to be a meaningful difference to your interest rate. So even in research it, and I'm with Craig, research it, but I'm saying stay, get the real work done. Because if you got a 583, Ava, I apologize, but you got some crap on your credit. And whether it's valid, if it's not valid, you can get it off easy. If it is valid, you need to clean it up before you consider investing in any financial transactions, because that is going to hurt. That's hurting your borrowing rates across the board. You can get it to 640 if you buckle down and you do the things, and it might be 1 month, might be 3 months, might be 6 months, but you'll be able to get her to a 640.
And I kind of read between the lines a little on Ava, because what I see is that someone who obviously did a loan, an adjustable rate mortgage some time ago, that's a subprime loan.
Possibly.
So obviously she's probably had bad credit for many years.
Well, and I'm saying, Ava, you're listening to this show for a reason.
Right.
Because you want to get your house in
Right.
order. Take the steps. Get the credit cleaned up.
Yeah, I just
Don't
don't know
keep
what's
taking
in
the
that
shortcut.
credit report. So you do need to talk to somebody about that and see what can be done. But it sounds like Ava's been on a little bit of a losing streak for a while when it comes to her credit score.
You know what happened with Ava? She had a start rate of 3.5%, and it's adjusted up now 5 years in a row.
But nobody's
she
arms
had
adjusted up except
she
for
had
subprime.
a financial setback several years ago.
Yeah, my
she's
guess
been
is she took a
completely-
subprime loan.
All
Because
right.
there's no 9.5% arms out there
Okay.
unless it's subprime. So
All right, Ava, that's the scoop. You need to.
if you need to call us, and
yeah.
we need to get, in fact, any of you in Atlanta, Georgia, or anywhere else
Yeah.
in this country, before you sign on the dotted line, you should call us
Yeah.
and let us take a look
Call
at the
Craig.
situation.
Ask
Call
him.
me.
Give him a
I'll
ring.
look at it.
Give him a ring. I did.
I don't
but
want
he
you to
said
get
no.
hammered.
You can call at 800-492-4664. Ask for Mr. Miller. Doesn't matter what state you're in. You just need some advice. You just need a quick fix of Craig time. He'll give it to you. Just give him a ring. Leave a message. He's happy to help. All right. So where were we? Mapping your future. Number one is, living arrangements, whether you're renting or owning. Understand the financial responsibility, budget for it, and realize that there is an opportunity to gain equity in your home, just like there's an opportunity to gain equity in your business if you have a financial plan associated with it. But know, as a business owner, you got to, and a non-business owner, know when you might need to tap into that equity, and make sure that you've done the groundwork in advance. Ideally, you won't have to, but sometimes a little forethought can go a long way if crunch time comes on your business.
Right.
All right, number two, this is a big one we talk about all the time, is paying for college. Many of you that own your small business, and those of you that don't, you're not considering what it's going to cost to put your child through college. You're not saving now for that. But folks, look at $200,000. If you got a kid 7, 8, 9 years old, going to be going to college in 8 or 9 years, there's a good chance you're going to be paying around $200 all in to get them through 4 to 5 years of school, or in probably my kid's case, 7 years of school.
This
That'll
is
be
a
their bachelor's.
Yeah.
That won't be for an advanced degree. 7, and in Craig and I's case, 7 years of junior college.
That's right.
So make sure that you do the groundwork now. Start saving, whether it's through a 529 plan or it's an alternative plan that you're going to save for your kids' college. But budget, come up, what's it going to cost? Budget and go, here's what I got to save in X number of years to get there.
I know we want to get through these. I got to interject one thing
Interject.
too.
Be an interjector.
Folks, have this conversation with your kids at the age of 9 and older, and have it on an annual basis or every 6 months or so. Sit down and revisit. Talk about their future. Talk about college. If you're a small business owner, you're used to managing things. You're teaching the values of being an entrepreneur and a business owner to your children. Also educate them about what their college is going to cost and explain to them their responsibilities. If they understand and grasp it and don't just go into it without being prepared, you'll be better off.
Back in a few. Life as you own it.
I'll be okay, but we gotta.
Let's go. Let's do it. Stop jacking around. Talk faster. We'll get this done faster.
Here we go.
Yeah. All right, life is you own it.
Somebody does.
Life is Will Swanda. We're back. I'm Mark. He's Craig.
That's a new language we're speaking, by the way. If you
That
didn't pick
is.
up on it.
It's the language of love. Love for our listening friends.
Small business owners, let's keep
That's
them
right,
going.
small business owners and all of you. Okay, so number one was you got to make sure that you understand. You got to put a roof over your head. Understand the true value of having a financial plan as it relates to that investment in real estate. Also, is you got to be thinking of how you're going to pay for college. Put down the number you believe you're going to have to get. Get that money in that 529 plan. Start saving now. This is something that applies to all of us. Number three is
That end game.
yeah. No, what's the goal, folks? Where do you want to be? When do you plan to retire? What's your goal with your business? There's a reason. Also, we know, especially it's amazing how many business owners have not identified a succession plan for their business. What happens if something happens to them? Who are they going to pass this company on to? They don't have any of the proper paperwork in place to get this done, and they haven't considered the end game as it relates to what the financial goal is of running this business. Is it just making enough to make ends meet for X period of time? What is the goal of the business? Do you want to sell it one day? Do you want to pass it on to your kids? What do you want to do? If you don't have a written business plan, then how in the heck are you going to know what you're going to be able to do? Then last is a big one also. We tell all of you folks, it's what, Craig?
Covering that assets.
Got to cover those assets.
Cover your assets.
You got a business. You got so many more reasons to make one. Have the business structured correctly. I'm making up new words. Correctly. And whether it's and meet with a financial advisor and a CPA to determine what is the most tax efficient way, based upon how you do your business, to set it up. Folks, it is not easy to navigate through all the paperwork at different state levels and the federal level to have your business and have it in a compliant fashion. They don't make it easy. It's tough enough to get business. Trust me, it's even tougher to make sure that you're paying all the appropriate parties and filing all the appropriate paperwork that you need to employ other people. So make sure that you have all of your house in order as it relates to the setup of your business, as it relates to the insurance pieces of your personal and of your business. Do you have the proper insurance on your business? Furthermore, do you know that if something happens in your business, do you have this business structured in a fashion that they can't sue you personally? So make sure you've got your personal assets covered, but don't assume because your personal assets are covered and that you've got your homeowner's insurance and all that stuff that you do not have to have the very same and then some protections for your business.
Roger that.
Anything else you want to
Roger
cover about
that. You are correct, sir.
The other piece, obviously, life insurance we talk about, doesn't matter if you own a business or not, folks. Understand if you've got people that you need to care for and you've got debts that you need to pay, if your income is gone, how are those debts going to get paid? What is going to be your legacy? So make sure you've got the proper amount of life insurance and that you've got it structured in a fashion that is conveyed to those people as it needs to be conveyed to them. So your legacy is not one of sorrow and confusion.
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of staying ahead of the game, Craig, you want to talk about what the 401k average balance by age and some of the opportunities they may have?
Sure.
So, okay, we're going to talk about the savings potential that one may have. And let's look at the amount that one would put aside. So if you contribute, we'll say $8,000 their first year. You can do it, folks. You can put in $8,000, and we'll say each year after that they put in $17,500 and continue to max that until they're 65. They would have on the low end $743,000. That would assume no growth, but again, that income was not taxed. So you would take it out at whatever your taxable rate is at that time. That's how a 401k works. And so you'd have $743,000. Now, if you had a rate of return at, we'll say an average around 7%, they're going to have $3.5 million. So, big difference. That's called accumulating interest, compounding interest, and that's $3.5 million is your opportunity if they start saving now. Not a huge amount if you adjust for inflation. That 17.5 in 20 years is going to be a small percentage of their overall salary. So folks, getting started now, waiting until you are 30 or 35 or 40, don't give up. You got to start somewhere. But if you can get those college age kids just getting out of that, just getting that degree that you possibly paid for, to start putting aside a big chunk of their check and let it grow in their 401k, it's a tremendous amount that they may have at retirement age. Craig, you want to talk about estimated existing average 401k balances as of March, as of just a year ago. For Gen Y folks, it's ages 22 to 34 right now. They have an average amount of 16.5. Gen X, average amount they have is 63. Overall, the average amount as of January this year was 101 grand. Baby boomers, 127 grand. That's ages 50 to 67, and all 55 and over have 150 grand. Folks, if you're 55 years old, is 150 grand enough for you to live off of and supplement your retirement if you live to the average age, which would put you another 30 years?
Of course not.
Not even close.
Won't get you very far.
So the average person is way behind the 8 ball. What are the solutions? Well, as we said, start saving early and often. It's never too late to cut your budget, but if you wait too long, your opportunity to really save, have meaningful savings, well, you're going to run out of time. You can't save a whole lot of money and benefit from compounding interest if you start saving when you're 65. But there's no time like the present if you're there now. Number 2 is remind yourself that nobody will save you. If you're a baby boomer, you probably are going to benefit from your Social Security benefits. You're going to receive those, or continue to. If you get them now, you'll continue to. If you're a Gen Y or a Gen X person, I'm here to tell you, you may not get that Social Security benefit, and if you do, it's probably not going to be sufficient to help you make ends meet. All right, Craig, that music means that it's time for us to take a break. When we come back, we're going to give you a couple action items for your retirement plan, Life as You Own It.
All right, friends, we are back. Life as You Own It. Mark,
Some startling statistics.
They are, and it should shock a few people into action. We talk about the college situation a lot, because that's epidemic level. I mean,
Right.
it's equivalent now of mortgage debt practically, and we want to get people on the right track going forward. When they hear this show, they take appropriate action. They can reverse the trend they've been on, the track they've been on. They can turn it around. What do you want to wrap up with this segment? Because we're going to talk about don't put that car before the house.
Good point. Well, okay, real quickly, some other stats here that are a little bit sobering is more than 38 million working age households, almost 45% of the working age households do not own any retirement account assets. None. Zero. So when we gave that balance, that 55 and older average balance, think about it, folks. That's the high end that people may have tens of millions. The small percent have tens of $millions in retirement accounts, and those that have literally nothing. 45% of working age households have zero in their retirement account. That's just bitterly disappointing, and I'm probably not telling many of our listeners anything they don't know. They're probably all going, I need more, regardless of where they are. They're thinking, I need more money in my retirement account. Well, here are some of the solutions where we begin. One is start saving early and start saving often, and it's never too late to start saving. Number 2 is remind yourself that nobody will save for you. If the retirement age for withdrawal is not lifted or the Social Security tax is not raised, Social Security can only pay about 72% of scheduled benefits starting in 2035 through 2087. Folks, as we just said a few minutes ago, if you're a baby boomer, you're probably going to get your full benefits. If you're a Gen Y or Gen X, you're definitely not going to get your full benefits, and the chance of you getting benefits at all is in jeopardy. Number 3, ask yourself whether you really want to work forever. The bottom line is, if you don't have enough money in a retirement plan to retire, and Social Security is not going to give you enough money to live off of, what are you going to do? well, you're going to continue to work. So if you don't want to work, and do the math on it, go to the retirement calculators, do the math, and I've got some resources for that we'll give you in just a minute. Number 4, Craig, what is it?
Number 4 is turned the page already, Mark. You tell me, because I believe
Develop
it's
alternative income streams.
There you
Because
go.
withdrawing from your retirement funds and collecting Social Security, think about, besides withdrawing from them, think about developing other income streams to support your lifestyle, such as building a CD ladder or investing in peer-to-peer lending, just to name a few. There are options for, and another is, we talk about the show, is real estate. Investing in real estate, some of the savvy, sophisticated, but be diversified in your investments, understand them, work with a financial advisor. Number 5, Craig, what is it?
Stay on top of your finances, folks. The more you can track your finances, the better you're going to be able to grow your net worth. So, pay attention. It's the stuff we talk about, the fundamentals we talk about all the time on the show. Set a budget, know exactly how much money you're spending, know how much money you have in your accounts, what you have to invest, what you have to keep things moving in the right direction. Stay on top of that stuff, folks. All right.
Music, Craig.
Should
You know what that means.
stay?
We got someone that wants to know if they should stay or they should go. We got Helen in Nashville, Tennessee, called in with the following question. Hi, guys. I really like your show. Helen, we really love you. My daughter set up a podcast for me, and I listened to all of them. Awesome.
Yeah.
I am retired with a fixed income and very little wiggle room. I own a home that is paid off, but the maintenance and upkeep, not to mention the taxes and insurance, are still making my budget too tight. My question is, would you advise selling and renting a home or doing a reverse mortgage? I think I could sell my home for about $225,000, and that money would go a long way toward making life easier. To me, a reverse mortgage is like selling my home back to the bank, but slowly rather than all at once. I like the way she puts that. Please share your thoughts. Interesting.
Helen, there's so much
Stay or
stuff
go.
I would want to ask
So
her.
much.
I'm going to say go as it pertains to selling of the home as opposed to stay. Here's the thing. She needs to sit down with someone who can really go over the benefits and features of a reverse mortgage and completely understand it and compare it side by side with what her strategy would be with the money after she sold the home. Obviously, she could probably find a maintenance-provided place to rent, hopefully someplace she was happy, close to her family, etc. But you're going to have a strategy for both ways. If you do a reverse, how are you handling the money as it comes in? What is your long-term strategy to get you through the rest of your life? If you sell the home and you rent, you got to look at your expense base for the rent plus the other expenses you may have. You're going to decide what that $225 is going to do for you, where you're going to park it, what it's going to earn. You need to have a strategy for both and compare them side by side. That's the only way you're going to know the answer to this question.
Yep, so I would agree is go through the scenario. Get with a trusted advisor, your family, your friends, and ideally a financial advisor also. Where do you want to be? What is the lifestyle? I mean, you've got equity in the home. That's awesome. You got $225,000 in essence in a retirement account. You can sell that home in its entirety and you can take the full gain. You'll pay no taxes on it.
Right.
So, but you understand if your lifestyle is going to be enhanced by having a stream of income from your home and obviously you'll go through the counseling on a reverse mortgage. Understand, whatever you do, understand, is this a Band-Aid, which you don't need one right now, it doesn't sound like just yet, or is it going to be a great long-term strategy? So do that and you're going to end up in a great place. All right. Hey, I mentioned that I've got a couple tips for our listeners, some resources they can go to. Vital personal financial planning tools. We go to Bankrate. We'll check data there. You can check interest rates, offers for mortgages, offers for credit cards, bank savings rates, all kinds of information there. That's a great resource. Just know that those are many of those there's advertisers, and then there's data, and there's national averages. Understand that your deal, they'll give you a guideline, but your deal is your deal. Also, mint.com, love it. Great resource to get free online keep your personal finances, keep your budget on track. LearnVest.com, that's another one of my faves that I've been recommending to people lately. Those are on the kind of financial planning tools. And then when we come back, we're going to give you a couple college savings and retirement planning tools that are free for you to use. Stay tuned. Life as you own it. Stand by. All right, we're back. Mark McDougald, and no, Craig Miller is no longer in the studio. He had to slip out to an appointment, and I apologize, folks. You're only getting half of the dynamic duo. The more dynamic of the duo, but only half nonetheless. Okay, if you're just checking us out, remember, if you're a first-time listener, you can go to YouTube. You can watch the video podcasts. You can take us on the road with you. iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. All of these options to include now just over 40 affiliates throughout the Midwest, the Southwest, and the South that you can catch us on your local radio station. So thanks for joining us, and we hope that you are a regular listener to Life as You Own It. Okay, I have got a couple tools for you that I began to share. Those for personal finance, ones that we like to use: Bankrate, Mint.com, LearnVest, all fantastic resources to educate yourself, work on your budget. One for college savings, U.S. News and World Report. They've got a net price calculator on usnews.com. That's a good one that you can use to identify what's it going to cost for your kids' education. Also, savingforcollege.com is a comprehensive website that includes tools and resources related to 529 plans, scholarships, financial aid programs, as well as a cost calculator and rankings of the best performing 529 plans. Okay, retirement planning. Like this one, AARP Retirement Calculator. Go to aarp.org. Go to the Tools section. Also, there's a Flexible Retirement Planner. Is a free program that's more sophisticated than the AARP Calculator. You can find it at flexibleretirementplanner.com. It's free, folks. What I'm giving you, these are free resources. And then finally, for insurance, the Life Foundation, you can access. It's got calculators at lifehappens.org. That's lifehappens.org. It's a nonprofit organization. You can run scenarios and get information about health, life, disability, and long-term care insurance. And it also has calculators to help you determine the correct insurance needs and the resources for finding an agent. So some fantastic resources. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we post these on the website, lifeasyouownit.com, so you can check them out, and please use the tools. They are free, with an emphasis on the free. Okay, don't put the car before the house. It's a simple one, folks, but let's make sure that you understand that the real cost associated with owning a home is something that we talk about each and every weekend on the show. What we come across, though, sometimes is that there are people that have car payments that are very similar to what their house payment would be. Now, we can agree that those car payments are only for 5 years and the mortgage payment might be for 30. But we can also agree that the home stays the same or goes up in value over those 30 years. And in fact, it goes up in value over the 30 years, whereas the car only goes down, down, down. So make sure that before you determine to go out and buy that nice new car that's got a $750 or $800 payment, does that fit into your financial picture? More importantly, is there something sustainable and long-term that can start to plant the seeds of your retirement, which is home ownership as a long-term investment can be a great investment if you do the math. Car ownership, cars should be a means to get you to work. I'm not going to argue with you about the fact that sometimes they're a little more than that. They're a status symbol. They're fun. I've driven a nice car or two in my day. I appreciate beautiful vehicles, but make sure that your budget is one that can afford the vehicle. Second to the lifestyle. So can you afford the lifestyle? Are you able to do the planning and things you need to do? And then secondly, have you identified how that vehicle that's going down in value fits into your overall goals? All right, as we wrap this show up, we're going to share with you the 10 safest cities out of the 100 largest metropolitan areas in the United States. Number 1, Irvine, California. Number 2, Fremont, California. Gilbert, Arizona. Plano, Texas. Henderson, Nevada. Scottsdale, Arizona. Chula Vista, California. Boise, Idaho. Shout out to my friends and family in Boise. Irving, Texas. And Chandler, Arizona. If you want to find out the 10 not-so-safe cities, you'll have to go to Life as You Own It. And remember, check us out next weekend. We hope you had as much fun as we have. Life as You Own It. Remember to stay classy. I hear music in my head. It's the only place I can hear it, though.